Hello everyone, I'm Sattils and today it's time for a new Blender lesson. Previously, I explained how to create your first 3D model in Blender. Now that you know some basic modeling techniques, it's easier to show you more fun and advanced stuff. Today, I will teach you how to model a plate. While modeling, you will repeat what you have learned about insets, bevels, and loops, but you will also learn some new techniques involving bevels, modifiers, and more. Are you ready? Let's get started. Select everything with A and then delete it by pressing X. Now press Shift plus A, go to Add, Mesh, Circle. Switch to Edit mode with Tab. Click F to fill the whole circle. Extrude it with T along the Z-axis a bit. Switch to selecting faces with 3 and select the bottom face. Scale it with S a bit. Insert a new face with I. Do it one more time. Now it's time to learn something new. Last time, you learned about loop cuts and loops. Today you will learn how to select loops. I want to select this loop here. How to do that? You select loops by holding Alt and clicking left mouse button. But there is one catch. If you select this face, you won't get loop selection, but this. To select any circuit loops, you need to select edges instead of a face. If you click on any of these edges, you will get the right selection. Now a question. If I want to select this loop, how do I do it? Exactly. Just like in the previous case, hold Alt and while holding it, click left mouse button on any of the middle edges that are part of that circle loop. Any of these blue colored edges will work. But if you select this edge, you will get this result. Okay, now we can continue with modeling our plate. Select this loop with Alt plus left mouse button. Extrude it down a bit with E. Then select the top face of the plate and insert a new face with I. Extrude it down with T. Scale it with S. Now it's time to learn about modifiers. Switch to object mode with Tab. Click on the wrench icon that says modifiers. Modifiers allow you to change the geometry of an object in a non-destructive way. I will demonstrate this using a bevel modifier as an example so you can better understand how modifiers work. You don't apply any of these steps unless you first copy your plate. As we won't be using the bevel modifier, this is just for demonstration purposes. We learned about bevels last time. If we want to bevel these edges using the bevel tool or the Ctrl plus B shortcut, we would select the edges and bevel them. After we did that, there is no going back except by using undo. However, if you have made too many steps, you might not be able to undo that action, leaving you stuck with the bevel. In that case, you would have to start modeling from scratch if that wasn't the result you wanted. But if you add a bevel modifier, click Add Modifier, Generate Bevel, you will get this. And here, you can change the amount of and segments of the bevel as you want. Yes, you can achieve similar results when beveling with bevel tool, but with the modifier, you can adjust the bevel segments and amount at any moment, unlike when using the bevel tool, where changes are fixed once applied. Careful, in some cases you may need to apply modifiers. Once you apply them, you lose the ability to make further changes, and your bevel is no longer non-destructive. And how do you apply the modifier, in this case the bevel? Click on the drop-down menu arrow and you will see the apply option. But why can't you click on it? It is because you are currently in edit mode and modifiers can only be applied while in object mode. To apply a modifier, make sure to first switch to object mode. Now that you know about modifiers, it is time to add a modifier to the plate. I just explained the bevel modifier, but we won't be adding that one. Instead, we will add a new modifier called the Subdivision modifier. So what does this modifier do? The Subdivision surface modifier splits the faces in smaller parts, giving it a smoother appearance. Let's add it to the plate so you can see what I mean. Add modifier, generate, subdivision surface. This is how our plate currently looks. But you can see some additional options. For now, I won't explain what render means, so just concentrate on the level's viewport number. It is currently 1, but what if you change it to 2? And what about 3? Much better, right? Just remember that the higher the number, the more faces your model will have. Fewer faces are generally better for performance, but your model also needs to look good, so you need to find a balance to achieve both, a good appearance and an efficient number of faces, depending on your needs. For this example, I will set it to 3. Now switch to edit mode and insert a new face on the bottom with I. If you encounter the same issue I did, where you can't see what you are selecting because of the subdivision modifier, just click here and you will switch off the modifier in the viewport. Everything in Object Edit mode is your viewport. You haven't applied or removed the modifier, you have just temporarily hidden it so you can easily see what you are doing. So let's finally insert a new face on the bottom with eye. And one more time. Now you can turn on the subdivision modifier again to see how your plate looks. Now click M and merge at center. Bottom of the plate is finished. Now go to the top of the plate. You can switch off the modifier again in the viewport so you can see what you are doing. Select the top face and make an inset with eye. And do that 2 more times. Now you can turn on the subdivision modifier again to see how your plate looks. Now click M and merge at center. In the end, switch to object mode, click right mouse button and choose shade smooth to smooth your object. You have a plate. That's all for today. Next time you will learn about texturing a plate and modeling a cake. If you had fun learning with me, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I have a Patreon with more exclusive content, like 3D models, blend files, advice on where to sell 3D models, how to find clients for our quiz, etc. You can also download a free Blender guide based on this lesson, so feel free to check it out if you like text tutorials more. It is updated regularly. There is something for both free and paid members, so don't forget to check the link in the description. And if you have any questions, write them down in the comments. Happy blending, everyone! Bye! See you next time!